Okay, I think I started the stream. There we go. Hello, people watching the stream. This is day 27, this project, where I'm playing around with cubes. Got graphics. Got user interface. Sound. And we got physics. Detonate. Just playing around with libraries in Rust. Making a sandbox area that I can refer to later when I'm using these libraries for other projects. That sort of integrate together all those aspects that just went over. Actually don't have any to-dos. I think my app is still too big though. 837 lines long. Oh, right. We're now using that UI message for more than just UI, right? It also does collision stuff. So I wanted to rename this. I think we can just call it message. Find all references. So an info overlay, yeah, message as app message. Are we also using it inside the physics engine? No, we're using it right there. Okay, cool. Rename. UI message to bye-bye app message. Send sh. Oh, constant. 150, huh? Wish there was an extract into constant. Guess we'll do it in steps. So this is like collision sound min force, I guess. Min force magnitude. I guess we won't have to say magnet. Maybe. Okay, and then we need to say what it is. It's F32, I think, and then const. Cool, and then move it to the top. Give it a comment. This is the minimum when cubes, objects, when objects collide, they will generate a sound. Trying to, there we go. Generate a sound if the collision force magnitude exceeds this value. How about collision force exceeds this magnitude? Okay. Okay. Let's look for more constants that we can refactor out. This is an exception, right? Make first cube is what we call to actually do exactly that. Make the first cube when you start the program. It makes that thing. And add is slightly different. Add calls new cube. So does first cube, right? Only add cube picks a different model at random and a different position at random. Oh, the rotation is also random? I thought the rotation was the same every time. Oh, maybe not. Different rotation. It's very quiet. It's quiet if I don't say anything, right? You have to keep talking to push back the silence. Let's see. Sure have a lot of constants. Get to line 136 and we're just done doing constants, modules, and imports. Model type, model set. Message, look direction, camera, drawing, inner. App, which has a ref cell inner. Borrow app, do we still use this? Use it in the two wrappers, right? Okay. Do I really need to have that? Like, I could just put that in place of that, right? What would that look like? This would go in place of this. Yeah, then I don't need to say it's a ref mut. Yeah, I don't know why I refactored that out like that. Maybe it used to be more complicated. Why is new fallible? Oh, because create surface is fallible. Okay. Redraw factory looks good. Event handler factory looks good. This would look even better if we didn't have app start. Now it fits on one line. Hold on a second. Okay. Camera world position. Self-drawing camera world to camera. Okay. Hey there, Nightshade dude. Also, good morning. Been lurking for 10 minutes. Also implies there was something other comment before, but I don't think there was one. Unless it was just an extra word you added. Looking for 10 minutes. So this stream is pretty much the opposite of the Primogen stream, right? I go in there and like the chat is so fast and furious that I can't even read it. I just like take random samples of it. Nope. Also, you've been here but done nothing. Oh, replying to something I said. I hear the cat doing like bad things in the other room, and I'm wondering if I should go out there and like handle it. I'll probably finish the stream and I'll go out there and it'll be like a mess of like broken things. I'm looking at this thinking, if we're looking into drawing and then doing stuff with the camera, maybe the drawing class should be doing this for me. Maybe. Because the drawing module or subclass or whatever you want to call it is smaller. It's only 500 lines long. Schrodinger's room, yeah. If I go out there now, nothing will have happened. But if I wait, something will have happened. You have to recat yourself. It's too late for the other room. Yeah. So we've had problems where the cat shreds the toilet paper rolls. So that's happened 3 times now. You go into the bathroom and like there's just shredded toilet paper everywhere. And so we got one of those toilet paper holders, like containers. You put the toilet paper in there, and then you put it on the roll, and that works to keep the cat off of it. But then it's really inconvenient. And so yesterday she went after the paper towel roll. So now we put a Tupperware on top of the paper towel roll, and I'm wondering if she's like over there maybe trying to get through the Tupperware maybe. Why do I have 2 impl drawings? One of them used to be generic, maybe? So we don't need that anymore, right? Okay. Update textures, draw models, draw, redraw. So what's the difference between draw and redraw? It seems like they need different names to make them more descriptive. Okay, here we go. We have update camera world position. So this we just drop the drawing part. Import 0.3D, 0.3. Okay, and then this just becomes a how many times is this used? Yeah, so we can just delete this. And in the places where we were calling it before, where's the cursor? Where's my cursor? Hello? It's not the right spot. Repeat. Okay, how about I just save and then we follow the errors. Here we go. Drawing. And one more. I think I'm gonna finally fix this pop-up thing so it doesn't happen. Let me get rid of this warning first. Make sure this still works. Okay, I see the cat right outside the office, and she's just chilling on the sofa. So this is good. Just chilling cat is better than just wrecking the place out of my sight cat. Detonate. Git commit refactoring. Move this function right around here. Move camera world position from app to app drawing. Cancel. Okay, whatever. Okay, I just noticed this window up here. Pending update of Chromium Snap. Close the app to update now. Okay, closing the app. Okay, whatever. Might as well like run, what is it, sudo apt update. Oh, Chromium Snap has been refreshed, now available to launch. Haven't run this in a while. 4 packages can be upgraded. Upgrade them. Oh, we got packages I've never heard of. Sure. Go ahead and update them. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Can I do restore last tabs? Can I just restore all of them? Restore window? Ah, there we go. Back to where we were. It's 8:18 MST. Do you know where your cats are? Yes, I know where my cat is. She's looking at me from outside thinking, why are you logging me out, human? And the answer is, because you wrecked the place. If I'm tied up doing the stream, it's like the human's tied up, time to make a mess. Okay. I think my goal should be to move this drawing struct into the drawing module, but it's got a lot of things that are used from the app directly. But if I move piece by piece into the drawing app, then eventually I don't need to define the drawing structure here at all. So here's another example, like this camera. It's used mostly in the drawing thing. In the app, it's declared there, initialized there, and used only in one place. So that tells me this should probably be a function in drawing. What is this doing? This is converting from what is this doing? Converting from something, screen to world. Position clip. Oh, right. So this is converting a position from clip space to world space. Refactor into function. Function will be clip to world. No. Camera clip to world? So call it clip to world. I have a variable called clip to world. I guess that's fine because, well, let's see what happens. So this is a long-winded way of saying 0.4, right? F64. And this is option 0.3. Oh, maybe I didn't get the type correct. What's the type? That's a vector. Why is it a vector? Shouldn't it be a position? Well, let's get the type correct and then try to work with this. This ought to be a point. Okay, I said I would handle the pop-up thing, and I will, but I want to get this thing first. Shouldn't this be point 3 new and then turn it into 2 homogeneous? So it's a matrix 4, right? So then wait, matrix 4 by what? 4 by 1, so it's really a 0.4. So yeah, that's 0.4, right? Wait, am I wrong? 4 by 1. It is actually finding a matrix. Oh, expected O point. Oh, it is a vector. So that's a vector 4 to homogeneous, turns it into a vector. Converts this point into a vector in homogeneous coordinates, i.e. appends a 1 at the end of it. Yeah, okay. That's actually what I was doing before, so now it's explicit. Do I need to say 0.3? Can I just say point? Whoops. Oh, that's my media key. Huh. Forgot I had that. I guess we do need to say 3, otherwise it's confused. All right, let's get rid of these unneeded and imports. I think I should be moving this to homogeneous into here. So let's call it what it is. It's 0.3, and then it should be position clip dot to homogeneous. It's not homogeneous, it's homogeneous. Different words, right? Okay, and then I get rid of that. Okay, and then finally, I want to move this one into the drawing. Drawing. Oh, wasn't I trying to keep these, oops, wasn't I trying to keep those sorted alphabetically? Oh, they're nowhere near alphabetical, so take camera, let's put it here. Clip to world. So we get rid of the drawing part. Okay, and then back here it's drawing, clip to world. Cool. All right. Shoot diamond block. Simulate diamond detonation. Reset world. Make first cube. New cube. That all looks good. Still really large number of lines. So basically the app is the God class still because it's such a long file. I'm looking at this function thinking, why do I need this? It's really just forwarding all its arguments to the physics world. Hey there, Toulouse. How are you doing? Okay, I think I'm going to try to attack this pop-up thing that bothers me to no end. So that has to do with some setting in VS Code, right? Settings. Let's look at the UI, I think. So pop-up. Keyword hover pop-ups. That's different, right? Hover? That's not it. Too many things to look up. I'm okay, Toulouse. I didn't stream yesterday. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I had to drive Mrs. Raimu somewhere in the morning, and that meant I didn't have. I had less than an hour to stream. And I figured, like, really, you should try to have a goal of, if you're gonna stream, do it for at least 2 hours. I read that as a suggestion in Twitch also, and I think it makes sense to me. So I'm like, if I have less than an hour to stream, it's not worth it. If disabled, hover details are no longer provided by the language server. But that's CC++. Hover. So they're just all like, maybe this is the one. I'm just thinking they're all each individually disableable. I think this might be it. Let's turn that off and see what happens. Okay, now when I hover over stuff, no, it's still showing things. What's the difference? I don't think there is a difference. Like none of these look like it. What are these actions? Hover actions enable. Hover actions. What the heck is that? It's still showing stuff. Setting sync. What the heck is that? I don't even know what this is. Turn on settings sync. Gotta look stuff up if I don't know it, right? VS Code settings sync. Share configurations across machines. Huh. That's interesting. My settings are slightly different between operating systems though, so that'll probably get annoying. Unless like I could be selective about which settings like are exempt. Okay, what if I look at VS Code disable hover? Remove hover tip. It's editor hover enabled. So it's under editor. Okay. Oh, here we go. Click. I could also just make this a large number. So what I want is instead of hover doing it, I want like it to pop up if I hit a key. Cool, cool. I got rid of the hover thing, but like, what if I wanted to get the hover here? Okay, that's the command. I want show or focus hover, and Control K, Control I is too. Okay, how do I get rid of it? Okay, is it escape? It's escape. Okay. LSP problems? No. Hi, Alexander. I was trying to get rid of this annoying feature. Not that one. This one. I had the editor hover enabled, and like if I stopped the mouse on something, it would pop up something, and that bugs me because it obscures like stuff around it that I might want to see, and like I don't use it that often to warrant like it permanently like always popping up the hover. So I'm thinking of disabling it, but I need, but if I do want to get that window, like if I'm like, oh, I forget what model instance handle is, I need to like be able to like hit an easy to hit key to pop it up. So the current binding is Control K, Control I, and that's that's hard for me to hit. KI, that's KI, KY. Yeah, we're not going to keep it on KI. That's way too clumsy on my keyboard. So let's go to key shortcuts. All right, let's change it. What do I want to change it to? Oh, I don't know. How about just Control I? 5 existing commands have this binding. I don't use any of those, do I? That's fine. How do I go back? I don't know how I got back, but I guess I gotta do KI. Show or focus over, make it Control I. Or maybe Control O? Just thinking like something that's easy for me to press. So Control O is hold down left pinky, press right pinky. Control M. What's Control M? Markdown toggle matches. Math environment. Oh, it's too many key bindings. I don't know. We'll do Control O for now. Okay, I did it. I made it Control O. So if I'm here and I like forget what physics world is, I can do Control O and it pops it up and I hit escape. Okay, that's good. I've remapped it and it's no longer like a hover thing. Okay, man, that's been bugging me for a long time. I just never got around to like fixing it. Okay, now this function, I don't know if I need it because all it's really doing is forwarding all my arguments to physics world create cube. So I could just call that directly, right? What's the difference here? That we're also turning the model instance handle into a user data. But does the physics world know about the model instance handle already? No, it doesn't. So maybe what I need to do is have a method that just turns a model instance handle into a user data. A U128. Where's that called? It's only called from one place. Okay, then what's the point? Let's just put it in that one place. There. Cube handle. Density is cube model density. That's self physics world. There we go. Got rid of one useless function. Now we're under 800 lines. So technically it meets my cutoff threshold of 800 lines, which is completely arbitrary. If we add just 4 lines, we'd have to refactor again. So can I get some margin? Just trying to reduce the size of this module. Oh, there's a module import I don't need. Save a line there. Okay. New cube. Make first cube. Reset world. Diamond detonation. Shoot diamond block. Okay, this one kind of goes with the drawing, right? Yeah, and then I have a note to consider making a matrix and using it here. It's this part in here, right? I'm doing a screen position and converting it to a clip position. On a given z coordinate. Yeah, so let's make that something in drawing. Screen to clip. Actually, if I'm just going to call to world anyway, why don't I just make it screen to world? Combine it with this other function here. And that doesn't need to be mutable. Why was that mutable? I don't know. That doesn't need to be mutable. I think we just abbreviate to position instead of position clip. And why is it an option point? We could just unwrap that, right? This doesn't need to be option. Any clip position is in the world. Why am I typing when I could have done a copy paste? I don't know. So this kind of goes in here. Do I want the z coordinate out here? I guess so. So that's really the screen position. And this is like desired z in clip space. Have you tried other editors like NeoVim or IntelliJ? I've tried Android Studio, which is based on IntelliJ. I didn't like it as much as VS Code. I mean, it wasn't bad. I used VI. Before it was Vim, it was VI. So VI turned into Vim, which turned into NeoVim. And I don't think it's just not my thing to control everything on the keyboard. I like to have the mouse. It's all a personal preference thing, right? Position, screen, Z clip, right? These are two different spaces I'm kind of mixing together. Plus I had position screen in there anyway. Right, so drawing goes away. Z clip. Cool. All right, and then we can just use it from here. Yeah, so I can get rid of this, right? So this is drawing, screen to world. Oh, right, I have to hit my key combination now. Consider dereferencing the borrow. But these are copyable, right? Yeah, we implement copy. So that tells me I should dereference, right? Either that or borrow, but it doesn't make sense to borrow a copy value. It doesn't make sense to borrow a value of a copy type. It makes more sense to just dereference, right? I think so. So here's again, we're going to be dereferencing that. It's then why do I have a borrow there? I really should get rid of that. There's no reason for that. One thing at a time, though. Got 2 warnings in drawing. Okay, what's it telling me here? Oh, I gotta do my thing. So cast lossless. Yes, we will lose that. That's fine. Okay, there's still a pop-up for something there. Or was it? Now it's not happening. Okay, whatever. Just remove comments, it'll be faster. This whole thing, I think I can do one time part of this, right? No, this position screen, what this part, at least these two are all, yeah, okay, never mind. So I have to do this every single time. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it. I could do this as a turning a two-dimensional point to another by doing this conversion with a matrix, but then I don't, yeah, what's the point? Maybe if we do it in more than one place, then I'll consider it. Okay, just arguing with it myself. Nothing to see here. All right, let's make sure this works still. Beauty of Rust is that if it compiles with no warnings or errors, it usually works. All right, cool. It's working. Kaboom! All right. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Don't need that. Don't need that. I think just the refactoring was doing that to me. Like it was just automatically turning it into a borrow, even though it didn't need to be one, because it's a value of a copy type. Okay. So that was camera, right? So camera's now only declared and initialized. What about depth texture view? Okay, how about device? Device is used to create instances. Okay, so if I were to move that into drawing, I'm wondering if maybe a device could be shared between the app and the drawing. Is this, it's internally clonable? I think it is because it's got that arc. Object ID is a copy. Oh, but it's got a box. Can I clone it? Wow. Okay, let's consult the manual. We want the wgpu manual. I guess time to start over with all new tabs. wgpu. Actually, how come I don't have a doc for wgpu? File, open file. Projects. Do I not have projects? Homepage. Okay. Shouldn't I put like the wgpu here? There we go. Okay, so what do I want? Device, right? I want to see, is it copy or clone? It's device extension. So what's device extension? It's doesn't derive anything. Okay, so it's debug, device extension, drop, send and sync and unpin. Okay, so it's not intrinsically copy or clone. Well, that's a bummer. So if I wanted to share it, I'd have to put it into an RC of some kind, right? Okay. Why did it? Oh, history. So if it's in your history, it'll reopen it. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Back to back more. Okay. Egui context. Where do we use that? Okay, that's only used in drawing. How about integration? Okay. Render, FPS measurements, info overlay. Okay, that's used everywhere there. So we have a lot of coupling between the main app and the info overlay, even though it's in drawing. These two could be moved out. Maybe info overlay doesn't belong in drawing. Yeah, update camera could be given the azimuth and elevation, right? And the field of view. Process egui. There's the one thing that we need to draw the info overlay. Okay, that's another tough one, right? Models is shared. Because I pushed this into drawing at some point. Creating models. Why did I put this in drawing? Because it uses device. So maybe this doesn't go in the drawing code at all. It goes outside of here. Model render. Drawing code. Next draw time. Drawing. Okay. Q is only used by drawing code. Same thing with surface. Surface config, we use it here for mouse move. I mean, if we need to get the azimuth and elevation to update the camera, we could always like get the config back out. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm convincing myself that this whole thing should be pushed into drawing, and then we encapsulate it. All right, let's do it. Drawing moves into the drawing module. There. Yeah, that's all the consequences, right? So that means this. Yep. These two move in there too. Okay, yeah, the camera type also moves in there. Okay, that can be imported from window. That should be like, where's render? That shouldn't be there. That should be as model render. Okay. Oh, are we getting a pop-up on this one? No, we're not. Huh. Wonder what's causing that pop-up. Thought I got rid of the pop-ups. Okay, back in the app. So this we can import. If I make get public. Right, then we don't need all this stuff, right? Yeah, still doing some refactoring. I gotta constantly refactor because I write messy code. If I don't do this, then the code will get unimaginably difficult to maintain. Okay, yeah, so here are all the points that we broke it, but that we're breaking the encapsulation currently. Yeah, I think this info overlay, we gotta move out. That technically isn't part of the drawing code. It's really part of the app. Oh, that didn't work. Cut and paste. There we go. Okay, so everywhere we have self drawing info overlay, it's going to be self info overlay. Okay. All right, now here, this all goes into like a drawing new, I think. Yeah, okay. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Drawing. Pub function new gives me a self. Paste. self. Okay, so we need a depth texture view. So we need a device and a surface configuration. Where is the device? There's the device. So then, um, device surface config. Okay, we need an egui context. That's passed in. Okay. We need a window egui integration. Okay, so that is this one. There's that pop-up again. Don't know what's causing it. There it is again. How am I getting a pop-up? I'm getting a hover thing. Ah, go away. I thought I got rid of it. Oh, I didn't get rid of it. We don't need that anymore. Info overlay. That's so this line gets moved down into here. Okay, getting there. That's passed in now. Egui renderer. That moves inside of drawing, right? Model render goes in there anyway. Yep. Okay, so that goes into drawing. So we don't need to have that comment, I don't think. Is that in the app? Yes, so we're going to move that. To there. Hash map import. From collections. Q and surface. Device, Q, surface. I wonder if I can get the surface config from the surface directly. I'm lost. What happened to, wait, what? Oh, there we are. Okay, so it's device, Q, surface. Okay, so we need to fix that up eventually. I think what I'm going to do is that. Oh, this FPS measurements is only used to build that, so that probably moves back out to the app. Same thing with this one. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move that back out in a minute. This one, yeah, I want to move. I'll handle that in a sec. That one too. Process egui is called from where? From redraw. So what if I let it borrow the info overlay here? Actually, if I let redraw borrow the info overlay, it can do this stuff for me. So maybe this is the right thing to do. So info overlay. So self.info overlay just becomes info overlay. This needs to be mutable. Okay. So this needs the info overlay as well. Okay, so now we're just down to update camera should be like given these things, right? Azimuth F32, I think. We'll just guess it's F32. Elevation F32, and then the field of view F32. So update camera here. Oh, we're doing it in a bunch of places. Okay. Well, they all go into the info overlay, right? Let's have the app, that be the app's concern. Yeah, so what if we do this? We have a function update camera. Mute self, and it ends up doing this. But it needs an azimuth, elevation, and FOB. And we just get them. So we get them the way this was getting them. So that's self. And then let's look elevation. FOV, that's elevation. FOV. This one. Okay, and then drawing repeat. All these drawing.update cameras should just be self.update camera. Except for this one. Okay, and let's move this one. I think these are sorted alphabetically, right? So then that goes down to the bottom. Okay, so this is just azimuth. Elevation. And FOV. Which I don't need there. Field of view. Okay. So it is an F64, right? Yep. Okay, so these are all F64s. Okay, back here. So we need this one crosses the physics world and the drawing, right? The reason why we're getting the models is why. Cube model. What are we doing with the cube model? We're getting the density and we're adding an instance. So that tells me we probably want a way to like borrow a model from the drawing code. So it'll end up being like this, right? Somewhere here it'd be a pub function get model. Mute. By model type. How come my back and forth isn't working? I don't know. There we go. Something in my clipboard, I want to get it out of the clipboard so I can get the other stuff I need. Model type. Okay, this returns a mutable borrow to a model. Oh, it's an option. That's right, it might not be in there. Okay, so then from here I can do dot get model mute. Oh yeah, we don't need to borrow that. It's a value type. Okay, so still I think we're gonna end up sharing the device with the drawing code. Actually, why does instance need the device? It needs it to create a buffer. And the model doesn't have the device. Probably, yeah. That makes sense. It needs to borrow the device to create its buffer. I wonder if that should just be another that should just be another method of the drawing, right? To borrow the device. So like get device or something. Get device. Doesn't need to be mutable either. Slow down, Raimu. Type. Ah, type better. Borrow self dot device. Okay, and then that way I can do get device. Okay, so wherever we need the device, we'll just borrow it from the drawing code. This should just be this update camera. I broke this somehow. Why does it think that the type is info overlay? It's really confused, isn't it? Oh, because the info overlay needs to be first. Am I gonna have a problem here where it's info overlay is another part of self? Let's see what happens. So if I do self dot info overlay, no, it's fine with it. Probably because of it itself, right? Okay. What's wrong with clamping add? Oh, I have to use my own utilities. Why did I not have to do this before? That's weird. I didn't move that, did I? Clamping add, right? Maybe I did remove the import and I wasn't watching. Okay, yeah, so for here I can just say let device equals self-drawing get device, and then it's just device. Oh wait, it's a surface config. Self.drawing get surface config, which is a new method. This is a value type, I think. Let's make sure. Actually, it might not be. It's clonable, so okay. So then, really, we shouldn't return it. It should be borrow it. Okay, and then this just drop this part. Okay, fix the other things first. All right, so this is get models mute, right? Get model mute. And then don't borrow that. Ugh, that looks ugly to me. Is that because it's not reformatting? It's reformatting it. Why? Okay, I guess that's what the formatter does. That looks ugly to me. Whatever. Add instance. So I need to like get the device. Okay, so we're just down to I need to use my own float extensions. So use is it crate? Utilities float extensions as underscore. Okay. We have double borrow. Probably because of this, right? And probably the same thing down here. Yes, the same thing. Okay, so I'm guessing that this needs to be pushed into drawing then. Especially if the reason why we're getting a mutable reference to the model is in order to add an instance. So really, we don't need get model mute. We need to push some of this into the drawing code. So we make a new instance with a certain draw order. make a collider and an, yeah. So instance gets us what? This handle and the instance. So what's the drawing concern? The drawing concern is the model having add instance being called. That's really the drawing's concern is to add an instance to the model. So then I could just have this say like add instance, but we don't need the model anymore. It should just return. Can I say let true equal else return, and then have this be something that returns a Boolean? I don't know if this will let me do it. Let's see. So this is like add. We want to call it model instance, right? Model instance. And this is bool. And then this will be let some model equal that, else return false. Okay, does that actually work? Oh, it does work. Let true. That looks weird. Let it be true that we added a model instance. Otherwise, return. Okay, and then this part is the part that moves into the drawing code. That's the drawing code's concern. This is model add instance self device. Borrow. Let else accepts any pattern. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that it would work there because it accepts any pattern, and that's a pattern. You don't know if it's idiomatic to use let true equals. I guess, yeah, it does look funny. It should just be if not, right? If not, return. And I don't need a semicolon there. Okay, and then I don't need that. Yeah, okay. I guess I was just trying to avoid the not. Trying to avoid invert negative logic wherever I can. Okay, so then that's a much better separation, right? We try to add an instance to the model type. And if we can't, we return early. And then this just becomes, we don't need that. Outdent that, and then, oh, we need its density. That's, okay, so then I do need it. I do need, okay. I do need something out of it. There's two concerns though, right? It would look weird to do it, but I guess I can do it this way. Option F60, F32, right? Because part of this is the model's density. I could do it in two lookups. That might be cleaner. Actually, I can put get model back in here. Can't I? I can have this return an option can I do this? None. Model. Can I downgrade mute? Oh, I could probably do it this way. Actually, it's some, right? Can I do that? And will it give me an immutable reference from a mutable one and consider it no longer a mutable borrow? Let's see. Is none. Because ultimately I want the model just to get the density out. So this would be, I go back to a let, I guess. Let some cube model equal that else return none. Oh, but that was originally a map, right? So we can just put it back into a map. Map cube model. Like that. Okay, got one error. What's the error? So that was okay then. This is an independent thing. Okay, cool. I got away with something I wasn't sure I'd be able to get away with, which was from a mutable reference to return an immutable one, and then it sort of downgrades the borrow. Let sum x equal f, else return none is equivalent to let x equal f. Yeah, but I ended up changing it to a map anyway, right? Because we also want to return an option, so it's more natural to do it with map, right? If you're going to return an option anyway. Yeah, it was the wrong path to do let sum equal function call returns an option, return none. Early return? I guess I could do that. So it would be like let cube model. Then yeah, that's better because I don't have the indentation. Thank you, Spoof. You're awesome. I can do that and then just do a question mark. I don't use that question mark operator often enough. It's a very cool operator because it lets me do that, right? The only consequence is I got to put a sum there, right? So this costs me this sum, but it gains me the one less level of indentation, which is always worth it. Always minimize the number of indents because it gains you space. It's easier to read. The flow is better. This will have one other consequence in that when someone reading this, if it's a single character, right? So if they miss it, they might be like, wait, that returned an option. How come that is not an option? Because of that. Like cleverly unwraps it in single character. So anyone who doesn't know what that is, Spoof knows what it is, but anyone else watching, question mark operator in Rust is like doing an unwrap, and instead of panicking if it's none, it does a return of none. So it only works in the context of either option or a result, right? So if you do that, and it's in the context of a function that is returning an option, and we're also inside of another function that returns an option, what that does is it says, if it is none, return none. Otherwise, unwrap it. So that's why we're able to get an unwrapped borrow of a model, even though the function we called returns an option of a borrow of a model. Currently only works for resultant option, yeah. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? Control flow. What's control flow? Is that like match or something? I don't know. Okay, anyway, I had an error still in drawing. What is this error here? Cannot borrow for overlays mutable. It's behind a immutable borrow. Why do we need draw needs a mutable reference to the wait. It's an immutable reference. but it's a mutable self. Does that need to be mutable? It does because UI. Mutable reference to a UI. Mutable self info overlay. Well, actually, does that need to be mutable? That used to need to be mutable because it changed its own state, but I don't think it does anymore. What if I turn that off? Why? Oh, horizontal is mutable on UI. Wait, why? What is this mutating? Mutable self. But that's of the UI. UI is mutable, right? Mutable. So what's the deal here? Oh, it's this. Okay, it's the kick force is mutable. And so is this. So info overlay is mutable, right? Because it does change itself. Okay, so if the info overlay is mutable, that means that this also needs to be mutable here. Which means that we need to pass a mutable reference to the info overlay. Okay, then we're good because I had a mutable reference. Yeah, it was mutable. We were already mutating it. Okay, cool. So then we don't need a get device anymore. Neat. It's a little funny that add model instance returns an option model. Do I care about that? I guess it's fine. Oh, this doesn't, we were just talking about this, right? This could have been a map. So, map. It just has this side effect, which is implied by the name of the function, right? Aha. Here we go. So do I have to do this trick? Look at that. There we go. A trick. I call this a rusty part of Rust, right? It's basically complaining that we said we would return an immutable reference, but we got a mutable reference out of map, out of get mute, right? And it doesn't figure out that it can downgrade a mutable reference into an immutable one. So this is dereferencing back to the model and then borrowing it again. Reborrowing, yeah. So the reborrowing, I think it should be able to figure it out, but here's a case where it couldn't. So we had to do this trick, the reborrowing trick. Okay. So unused imports is a good thing. We want to see these get reduced. Although I have a feeling that the FPS is going to move back. I have a feeling. Okay. Same thing with simple moving average. I think those actually belong in the main. Like these things here, I think we kind of want those to go into the main program, right? Or the main app. Because they don't really, it's just a coincidence that we're updating them when we redraw. Well, actually, FPS, I guess, FPS does stay here. Render time measurements. Where do we update that? There. Actually, I guess it does go there. Because otherwise we'd have to return them back out only to update the info overlay anyway. Yeah, I guess it could stay. Why do I have blank lines here? Okay, right. The fact that I had the word redraw and then draw. What? Like, this is really not the best name, right? It both draws and updates things. So what should I call it? Like draw and update? Or update and draw? It's also, we also use the word render in a couple places, but that render is sort of like a synonym for draw. It also updates the output. So it does a render pass. Does multiple render passes actually, right? Draw does a render pass. I think egui also does a render pass. At some point here, does a render, it gets a render pass, right? Oh no, it borrows a render pass. So there's only really one render pass in which we draw the models and the GUI on top. Okay, never mind. I think what it is this should just be called draw, and this should be draw like models. Well, actually, it's draw. We already have a draw models. It's draw models and UI. So then, does this really need to be a sub function? Shouldn't that just be in here? Then it wouldn't need all these redundant borrows, right? I think that's what it is. This draw doesn't need to exist. Well, except for that it locally holds onto the render pass. So maybe this is, maybe we do keep this because of this local. We do make a local. But we don't really need a local. Hold on, let's see what it looks like. Can I just do that there and then not do that? Would have to borrow here instead, right? Oh, because of the render pass? Yeah, so that's the other reason to put it into that subfunction draw, is it drops the render pass so that we can do other things. Okay. Just don't like the name. I could just do another trick where I put it in extra braces. No, this name needs to be fixed. I think this would be do render pass, right? Draw render pass. I don't like that name. The render pass is just something that we get because it's needed. What if we just call it render? Redraw, draw, render all mean the same thing to me, though. Okay, the longer name would be render, models, and GUI. Egui. Maybe that's fine. Maybe the long name is fine. I think it's fine. I don't need a space there or there anymore, right? Report. I'm considering making this another sub function because this function is getting kind of long. It's also independent of output, color view, and encoder, right? So shouldn't I be at least moving this down to here? And this is like just updating the info overlay. Yeah. So refactor, extract into function, update info overlay. And let's put it first since it's the principal object. Okay, that looks better to me. So, it's now used anywhere else. It's used down here. Now is not a very good name though. So this would be like something start, right? Really, this thing shouldn't be called redraw. This should just be called render. Or draw. Render, draw, render, draw. What to call it? What to call it? Draw? Draw because we're using draw time. So this would be like draw start time. Draw start time. I'm using next draw time and last draw time. I could just call it draw time. Yeah. Draw time, then update the last. Next is the current draw time, last plus interval. Okay, that's easier to read for me. I don't need that. That's easier to read. Okay, when I start seeing things that are easier to read, I know I've picked the right names. Okay, this looks better to me now. All right, I like it. Okay, this all looks good. Okay, yeah, yeah. Create models. I'm a little concerned that models has so much to do with drawing, but I guess that is the biggest point of the models is the drawing stuff. There is a physics thing added to it though. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with it for now. Okay, drawing is 473, main app 700. Okay, that's much better than 800. Okay, I like it. I like it, I like it. I think we're done refactoring for the day. Now I gotta think of what am I gonna do next. I It's 8:43. I got like, I don't know, 45 minutes. I think the force threshold for the sounds is a little too sensitive. Everything's still working. Reset. Git commit. So this is encapsulate app drawing. Well, drawing from app. Okay. Look direction. Where is this used? Okay, so look drag start. Where is that used? Huh, okay. And these are separate because they go to different sliders. That makes sense to me. Sure, okay. Whatever. Just wondering why it was there. Like, it seemed like an odd place for that to be. Okay. What should I do next? Okay, there was something in my history here. Recently closed, right? One of these tabs. Dolly, that's what it was. Someone in chat, I forget who, suggested that we play around with this crate because it gives us like a more realistically panning camera. So the idea is the camera has like physical qualities to it, so you have to update it with a delta time, just like you do with the physics engine. You know, those are 90-degree shifts. So I'm just thinking how would I translate this to what I'm doing with my camera? So it's in the info overlay with the slider, right? This look azimuth. Here it is. So I get a distance while I'm dragging. What the heck was that just updated? You see that? Virtual machine's doing stuff in the background. What is this? Is that because In add content here, I can actually change it. Yeah, because we get a mutable reference. So the slider can just shift it. Okay, I think yeah, so the problem is we might drag, where is it? Here. We might drag with the mouse, and this instantly changes both the azimuth and the elevation. Whereas this one, this is giving it like momentum, and then over time this happens, right? I'm just wondering, like, if we call this twice and it hasn't settled yet, I guess it still works, right? It just ends up updating its destination, and then it goes there that much. It rotates that much more. So they call azimuth a yaw, and I guess it would be pitch for elevation. Okay, I can give this a try. This might be kind of fun to play with. Dolly. .4. Okay. Okay, let's try it. Dolly 0.4. Close everything. Go to cargo. Go here, put Dolly 0.4. We are fetching the Dolly. Indexing. Okay, we're good. So then under my apps drawing code, I suppose the camera changes, right? This camera, how come I click took such a long time? So camera has this information in it. Actually, why does camera have just the transforms in it? Shouldn't it also have the azimuth and elevation? But no, because that's separated, right? I put that under the app. No, I didn't put it in the app. I put it in the info overlay. Info overlay. I put it here, right? The look azimuth and elevation is here. So this really should be like a target. So I don't change this because this is like our target, but we're not going to derive the camera's transforms from this directly anymore, right? We're gonna, so it's wherever this is used to compute the other. What was it? Update camera. No, I don't see it. There's draw. Wait, what? That's the draw the info overlay, so never mind. Here it is, update camera, right? Here, yeah, in update camera here. Yeah, so here's where we would change it. So we would use these to like tell it where to move to. But that's different from this was like adding to it. Oh. So let's see what I get in terms of API. Okay, I get a camera rig. Camera rig. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, you have to get the driver of the camera to change things. So I need to look at the driver. Driver mute. Gives me a rig driver. Okay, a rig driver. That's not what I was looking for. It's not a rig driver. Okay, it's a generic thing over some type. Is that how it's? Yeah, okay, so you have to like using a turbofish, you have to say what are you how are you driving the camera? Right. So position, rotation, look at. Interesting. That's an interesting way to do it. I wonder how that's done. All items, rig driver, not rig driver, camera rig. How's that done? Driver. Oh, so that's got multiple drivers in there. And they do a downcast. Interesting. So it's just looking for the one that supports that interface? Huh. So yeah, what does drivers look like? Ah, yeah, it's a box dine with trait. Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay, cool. Does that mean I have to build it with a certain set of drivers? Yes, I do. Or no, those aren't drivers. A chain of rig drivers. Each driver in the chain. Okay, so I do need to compose it with the right drivers. Huh. Smooth. Yeah, it is a runtime way to test it. It's a downcast mute. Yeah. Downcast. Attempt to downcast the box to a concrete type. So you have some kind of trait object in the box, right? And then this says, is it this type? And if it is, so yeah, that's exactly what it is. It tests to see if it does it update, does it match string? I guess you can put another type in there. You can put another trait other than any in there. Yeah. Can you put a dine other trait? I think that's what they're doing. So where were we when we saw that? Camera rig, driver mute. Okay, they're, I guess, casting it to any first and then trying to downcast. And then because it's generic, so you can do it with a combination of downcast and a generic. So this works with a concrete type, but by making it generic, it'll generate a version of this for every concrete type that implements the trait if you use. So you have to it's really working with the concrete type, but it's generic over the trait. So it doesn't work on traits generically. It works on in a generic function over some trait. It works for any concrete type. I don't know, it's hard for me to even say, let alone wrap my brain around. Oh, okay. Let me go back to reading this. Chain of rig drivers. Each driver in the chain applies a transformation or an animation on top of the previous one. Every driver provides runtime controls over its functionality. Yaw pitch calculates rotation via yaw and pitch angles. Each train driver parameters can be modified and will affect. So it's really, I need to look at this guy. Um, so I can actually do this. I can set it or additively. So if I use it by what set, that matches what I'm doing now, right? So let me try that. So update camera rather than like storing, computing the transformations directly, it's going to store them, or it's going to update the drivers in the rig, and then I want to move this stuff, all of this stuff into, actually that too, right? Move a lot of this stuff into another function that I call every tick. In the bump below bump allocator library, there's this problem that when you're generically allocating stuff, you can't know if you need to hand out a bump below box or a regular slice. And when T's drop, you need to hand out a box. Interesting. Okay, so I can actually move this to. I got to separate the construction of all of the matrices because it's going to happen later, right? World to camera, world to clip, camera to clip, clip to world. So this is just build the various coordinate transformations. Actually, this one only changes if we change one of these things, right? So it does. It's independent of the rig, right? That's fine. This one, the rig will update, which means this one will update too, and then we invert it. Okay. So this is the part that right now this is where we're going to sever it then, right? So I can't have two functions called update camera. What do I actually want? Use camera or apply camera, make transforms from camera, build transforms from camera. Let's call it that for now. Okay, and then we need aspect. So yeah, that's this stuff, right? Okay, so then I don't actually need I do need this one. View transform distances, that's fixed. Where do we use that in? World to camera? Oh, that's moving that's positioning the camera. And the same thing with the rotation. Okay. Right, so that kind of goes here. Okay, so I actually don't want that anymore, right? Let's comment these out. Because that's how we used to determine where to place the camera, right? Now we're going to use a rig instead. So drawing, I guess we're going to have it passed in, right? Yeah, let's make the rig not part of drawing at all. So hold on. Yeah, so what does it give me out of this rig? Not yaw pitch. Camera rig. Final transform. I get a transform, which is what? A position, a rotation. Okay, so, and what are these types? Glam? Ugh. Okay, well, I'm not going to hold that against them. So, I kind of want to mirror this. It's going to be position and rotation, right? Camera position. It's a vector 3, right? Yeah. Well, it's going to be a point 3. F64. And rotation. Unit quaternion. F64. Okay. And field of view is independent of that. So that's correct. Okay, then. All right. If I'm given a position, then I do need this. The translation here, it's position into, right? How does this work? New translation takes a vector. Takes a vector. So translation is a vector, not a point. Its vector's got to actually implies moving from the center to some place. Okay, so then yeah, that makes sense. So this would be position into, right? It'd just be position borrowed, right? Okay, and then the rotation, we have that. So that's view transform rotation. Oh, No, it's not. That is rotation dot into? No. It needs to be like, I guess it's the same way we do translation, right? Matrix for new rotation. Yep. That's axis angle though. How did I do it before? How did I get elevate? Ah, this is how I did it. It was a quaternion, but we did two homogeneous, and that's how I got it. Okay, so it's rotation to homogeneous. There we go. Okay, so I don't need to say that anymore. So update camera, it really doesn't belong here anymore. That's what we're gonna wherever we're calling update camera before, now we're gonna update the rig, right? Maybe this should just be called update camera then. All right, we'll call that update camera. Okay, and then it's all in here, right? So here's where we got to update the. We got to call this now every tick, right? Yeah. So this one is merely going to. We don't even need to do this. Okay, we're not going to do this here anymore. Here we're going to update the rig. So I need to have a rig. So let's make a rig. Camera rig. Camera rig. Is that not what it's called? It is, but it has a handedness, which is default. So why can't I just import that? Oh, now I can. All right, we did it. Okay, so I have to create the rig. Okay, let's do it similarly to how they did it in that sample here. In fact, I'm just going to copy it and paste it. So camera rig builder with yaw pitch new. Can I just leave that out and have it like, it'll just initially spin to its correct position, right? With new rotation, I'll leave that in there for now. Arm? What's arm? Arm. I should look that up and see what that is. What's an arm? Offsets the camera along a vector in the coordinate space of the parent. Oh, so that's how like far away the camera is. Right? That's where I put in that 0050. Yes. So this would be 50. I don't want to confuse vector 3 with vec3. We'll fully qualify it there. It's in drivers. I don't like word smooth though. How about we just rename these as Smooth camera driver. Yeah, let's do that. And then down here, we'll just put camera driver in front of all these. All right. And then, so we have the rig. Here's where we want to do self dot camera rig dot driver mute. I have to be specific, right? Like I want the yaw pitch, or is it, yeah, yaw pitch, right? Yaw pitch camera driver. And then I want to do pitch degrees azimuth, no, elevation, dot yaw degrees azimuth. Okay, they need to be updated. So that's F64 from, right? Okay, I got 15 minutes left. Oh, it's downgraded. Shoot. So it's actually as F32s. Cannot move out. Oh, shoot. It takes ownership of self? That's not what I want. Okay, so then that's going to be a problem, right? I'll have if the additive thing. Okay, hold on. Rig drive. I need yaw pitch. So the only one that doesn't take. Okay, so I do have to like remember the last position and then like do an additive. Well, that sucks. Okay, I wish that it would do that for me. So it doesn't do that for me. That means like in addition to getting it from the overlay, we'll have to also like know how much did it move before. Okay, so then maybe instead of doing this, we'll see where camera update cameras called from. Why do I call it a drag start? Why am I doing that? Oh, because we need the world position. Okay, that we don't really need anymore, right? So this we probably don't need to update the camera here. Let me comment it out for now. Yeah, okay, so maybe self-update camera needs to take the differences. Then what, how does this start? Just drag start. Okay, so that's not gonna quite work, is it? If this drag start is updated, maybe. No, I don't like that. Shoot, this is gonna be awkward. Hey there, Destruin. How are you doing? Let me show you what my little experiment does right now. So I have a physics engine using Rapier 3D, We have wgpu for 3D graphics. We have egui for these graphical elements up there, and we have rodio for the sound. Just playing around with different libraries in Rust to do these various things. Not making any game or any project in particular, just kind of like trying to understand how to use these libraries, how they integrate together. Yeah, so this is all on a virtual machine, like the command said. And we do get 60 frames per second. Someone the other day was expressing surprise that we could get 60 frames per second in a virtual machine. It is true. And I think it is because I am not really doing very much in terms of complicated graphics. It's very simple graphics. Okay, so what I'm doing at the moment is trying to pull in another library that gives us these really cool smooth camera animations. The problem is that the way it's used is it wants me to additively add yaw and pitch. But in my code, it's not additive. I'm actually forcing the camera to a certain yaw or azimuth like instantly. So if I want it to be additive, I kind of need to remember what's the last amount that we set it to. Okay, so I guess the easiest thing would be update camera should take like the amount we're adding to yaw and pitch, right? Or actually, no, that's not true. Yeah, it should get what it currently is, and we should like have we should in addition to the rig itself, we should have like what it was last set to. So like camera rig target azimuth. And elevation. Yep. I do all my hobby work in Rust these days. I love it. Trying to get better at it, and chat helps me out quite a bit actually. Okay, here I have to actually be very consistent. So the initial target has to be what I set it to. So I guess this angle here matters. That's the smoothness, that's not the angle. So I'm guessing the angle defaults to 0. Yeah, okay, so it does. So shouldn't I get the rig first and then use it? I should, right? So I should say camera rig equals that. That's the camera rig, and we get the target from the initial camera rig. I guess I have to get the driver for yaw pitch, right? Pitch degrees. Actually, it would be yaw degrees. And pitch degrees. And this should just, yeah. The camera rig uses 32-bit floats. Okay, so now that we know the target, this needs to get the difference between these and the target and then put them in here, right? So this would be like elevation minus self dot target elevation. And then this would be azimuth minus self target azimuth. Actually, the as F32 goes out inside here. Okay, what's the deal here? Cannot move out. Oh, right, because we don't want to call pitch degrees. We want to call whatever the additive was. Rotate pitch degrees and rotate yaw. Rotate yaw pitch and rotate yaw. Rotate pitch. Wait, we pass in two things? Okay, it's the yaw and then the pitch. So the yaw is the azimuth part. So that, there, and then the elevation part. Okay, so that's what I want. So these warn, yeah, we are going to possibly truncate, which we're going to allow, expressly allow there. And then after we do that, then we got to update these, right? Azimuth and elevation. Okay. As, right? Okay, we'll just allow possible truncation on the whole method. Okay, so this updates the rig. But we also want to update the animation, right? This camera update. We need to do that like when we update. So that's done in where? Handle redraw. Yeah, advance the physics engine, so advance the camera rig. So self.camerarig.update. So the delta time. So we need to know the time since the last time. So that I can get, right? I think I'm actually doing it internally in step here somewhere. Oh no, it's fixed. So we're already regulated to the 1 over the draw time, right? Whatever handle redraw, whatever it calls that. That's not right. Is it this drawing draw? Yeah, okay, so it's this max draw rate. It's really, this is the time, right? So that's the time we should put here. Although I feel it feels weird to do that, to assume that that's correct. Shouldn't I actually measure it? I should probably measure it, right? So that means like it should know the last camera update. Yeah, I shouldn't have it. I shouldn't assume that. So this would be like self.last. Gotta be careful here because I don't want to start accumulating error in the camera. Does it really matter though? Elapsed. I think it's as sex, but I don't remember exactly. I need to actually make this thing before I can actually know what get before I can get help from the IntelliSense. So that's this. It's an instant. Okay, and then we can just initialize that to now over down here. Instant now. Okay, and then yeah, so let's just get help from the IntelliSense here. So that's elapsed as sex F32, I think. Is that what it wants? Does it wants it? It wants delta times seconds. So, which I think it's funny. Why don't they use duration? Why not use duration? Why force me to do F32 and then have the seconds be in the name? Why don't they just use duration? Dolly. Come on, Dolly. That forces us to have this coupling with their API, which is gross. But okay, whatever. So then, yeah, I gotta update this, right? Here's where I'm gonna accumulate error. The error between when we measure it here and when we measure it here is gonna accumulate, but I don't think I really care because all it really does is affects how fast the camera animates. So I guess I don't really care if there's too much error there. Okay, so is this right then? The camera rig is advanced there. Um, it's used in update camera. Oh, but we need to finally update. So that I think we move back to where we advanced the camera, right? So we move this back up to here. So let's say like use the camera rig to determine current camera position. Current camera to determine current camera state. Paste. Okay. Okay, we need an elevation, azimuth and elevation, so azimuth self.camerarig.driver. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta drive to work. Yaw degrees, right? And elevation. I'll clean this up next time. Elevation is pitch degrees. Tug a bit. I gotta go to work. I'm just finishing up. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Hello. How are you guys doing? I'm in the middle of trying to integrate this nifty camera rig from the Dolly library into my sandbox. So isn't that cool? We're gonna try to make this work for me. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm playing around with Minecraft cubes that make sounds when they collide, and I can throw diamond blocks at them. And if there are any diamond blocks left over, we can detonate them. Kaboom! So playing around with wgpu for the drawing, egui for the graphical user interface up here. I can like independently move the camera with those little sliders. The physics engine is Rapier. That's how we make it look real. And then rodio for the sounds. Yeah, we got sounds, Ramy. And Dorn said the same thing last time. Olavo Storos, Ramy, Theldevallen, hello. How are you guys doing? Skins? Yeah, we have textured cubes now. You weren't here last time? I think it was Endorn who said it last time. Yeah, so right now my camera is very like clunky. It just jumps to the position that I drag to, right? It has no smoothness. So I'm in the midst of trying to like use this camera rig which makes smooth animations when the camera moves. I think I almost got it, but I have to go to work. So I only have like a few minutes. I'm stealing a few minutes from work to try to get this to work. So we're using this camera rig now, which comes from Dolly. And we have to like advance it just like we advance our physics engine. And after we advance it, that's doing the camera animation. Then we have to actually use it to get our actual angles that we're going to set. So I think all I'm missing here is to cast these up, right? Yeah, it expects... Oh, wait, this is different. It wants a position and a rotation. Ah. Okay, so I don't want a yaw degrees. I actually want a position and a rotation. Camera ray, can I get like final transform position? Here we go. There we go. Yeah. And then it's rotation, right? And then I gotta convert the types. Because these types don't match. This is whatchamacallit, a glam vec3. And this thing wants an algebra vector 3. So can I do, it's wishful thinking, but can I do an into? You should always try and see if into works. No, it doesn't. It says, actually, I don't want to do any of that. There it goes. So it's in a very complicated way. It's saying it has no idea how to get from an algebra vector to a Dolly glam vector. So we'll just hack it right now. So let position equal vector 3 new, probably, right? Come on, help me out. New. It's this thing that's, oh, because there's no parentheses there. Vector 3 is not imported. Import it, please. Thank you. New, right? There we go, because I wanted it to fill that stuff in for me, because I want potential spam. Potential spam called me. Potential spam is my new best friend. He calls me a lot. Okay, how come it still didn't like it? Oh, it wants 64 bits. Okay, so I keep misclicking. Alt, no. Alt click. Ah. I got alt click as F64. Okay, I got the position vector. Now I gotta get the quaternion. So I get a quat. I need to turn that into unit quaternion. Unit well, really it's quaternion then turn into a unit, right? Can you make an extension to cast it to the required type? Yeah, I could, but I'm trying to do this really fast. Tend to make your own RP2040 mouse. The problem with that is I had no idea how to do lasers. And I'm not going to make no mechanical mouse. If I make a mouse, it's going to be a laser mouse, and I don't know how to work with lasers. Okay, I forget how to... How did I, like, make sure that quaternions are units? Oh, we could do it from axis angle. No. There's identity. How do we do this before? Two unit. That's how we did it. Two unit. We did 2 unit. Also, there's this upcasting I could have used. Right, so then I would do quaternion. New. 2 unit. Okay, and then in here I do rotation. No, don't open a new file. As F64. There's no I, J, and K. It's X, Y, and Z. Why is it X, Y, and Z? They're complex numbers. Dumb. It's dumb. Okay, why is 2 unit not working? 2 unit not found. It's found. Oh, I gotta use my own extensions. and this is rotation. Okay, it'll build. Let's try it out. It's not XYZW, it's IJKW. Everyone knows that. It's a three-dimensional complex number. Or four-dimensional complex number. No, three-dimensional complex number. Something like that. Okay, well, the world disappeared. I think our camera is not working. Something tells me the camera's not working. Hey there, Mife. Well, this is disappointing. Camera not working. I wonder why. Camera rig. I don't have time to figure this out, unfortunately. So maybe I have to figure this out tomorrow. Final references to camera rig. Here's where I set it up, right? Over here somewhere. Here's where I set it up. So I made a yaw pitch camera driver with a smooth camera driver and an arm camera driver and said, move it all on the Z-axis 50 units. And that didn't work. So I don't know what I did wrong. That looks correct to me. Maybe, should this be, no. I don't know if they got their XYZ correct. So what, there's like many possible things I could have done wrong, right? What if I just like infoed this, right? Camera position. We're gonna get spammed with the camera positions, but that's okay. That's okay. Can deal with it. It's gonna spam it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Wait, did I actually see something? No, we're seeing nothing. Nothing but the sky. So that's reasonable. Actually, that's in the wrong direction, right? I think the problem is the camera's looking away. The camera's looking away, so would I then make it a negative 50? Where did I do that? Where indeed? Up here? Yes, so maybe a negative 50? See if that fixes it. I think the camera might have been looking away from the scene rather than towards the scene. You struggle enough with normal numbers? Oh, we fixed it. Look at that. Okay, but wow. It's really tight, the camera. I think it's because I have a radians to degrees problem. Also, it's not looking at the cam. Okay, so we got a couple problems. The camera rig uses degrees and I'm using radians, so it's really slow to rotate. The other problem is the camera is not orbiting around the scene. It's actually at a fixed position in the scene and it's rotating in place. So you have to fix that, and then it's probably the only problems, right? Yeah, okay, so we got some problems to fix. I don't have enough time today to fix them. We'll leave you with like tons and tons of cubes while I go raid someone. So the camera sort of works with the rig, but wrong units and wrong motion. So we'll fix it tomorrow. Well, I thought I turned down the volume on that. You don't want some more of that? Sorry, I shouldn't abuse my viewers like that. Here, I'll turn down the volume. You can barely hear it now. I'm also abusing the sound driver. Okay, anyway. Wow, it's not settling, is it? Okay, you saw me previewing Tim's stream. Let's end this because it's too much. I want it to settle. There we go. All right, I gotta go to work. Thanks for watching. We're going to go raid Tim. The joy in my eyes as I did that, as I abused the sound driver. Yeah. Okay, enjoy Tim's stream. I'll be back tomorrow to fix the camera. Okay, see you guys. Bye.